what makes you confident is your competence.
Yeah.
If you're competent, you know what you're talking about, you know your product knowledge, you become confident. You just exude confidence, right?
Yeah.
Everything that you do, it's on you.
Yeah.
So flexibility thing, stop with this flexibility.
Yeah.
You've got to be at the office. Majority of offices that I worked with, I used to work with, people just turn up whenever they turn up.
Yeah.
No. You've got a morning ritual, morning routine. That's what we're talking about, the best of the best, right?
Welcome back to NextGenAgent, a show for real estate agents where we help them to become the best version of themselves while acting with integrity, honesty, and a set of core values in mind. I'm George Simpson in place of the usual Matt once again. Love to be here. And I'm joined by the one and only Nathan Najib. How you doing?
Pleased to be back, man. Pleased to be back. It's a good day.
It is a good day. It's a good day. Been coming off a long weekend, so a little bit quiet around the place.
Yeah. How was your long weekend?
It was good. I went away, but always thinking about coming back to work and getting things done. So
Very nice. You went to the family house, huh?
I did, and you just stuck around here.
I did too. I stuck around here on Saturday. I worked, and Sunday,
Yeah.
and I worked some work. We did some work on the business, and Sunday same thing. I got prepared for a bunch of things this week. It's gonna be an exciting week.
Very good.
Week.
Well, when I feature on these podcasts, I always like to give a brief mention of the news at the beginning. And I tell you what, interesting news in the real estate market. We did make a video on it, but the government dropped the first home grant.
Interesting.
So pretty good way to slow down the economy and the market, do you think?
Absolutely. One of the other things that take off the table to slow the economy down, right?
Yeah.
And people say like it's a bad thing. To be honest, it's actually a good thing. It's good for the economy. It's actually good for the first home buyers, because the goal is that the Minister of Finance, the new Minister of Finance, I forgot his name, somebody Bishop, his name is, he said, and I've been saying that for a long time, that the affordable home price is 3 to 4% household income.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he said. He said 3 to 5 times household income he's going to try to get it back to.
Yeah.
But I bet it's between 3 to 4. It needs to come to 3 to 4 for it to be at an affordable level.
Well, hopefully we can get a bit closer to that than we are now. We're making tracks.
Yeah.
We're making tracks. So today's topic is what makes the best of the best. And I think there's some interesting topics that we can unpack. And of course, there's a lot of different things that go into making somebody successful and making somebody the best at what they do.
Yeah.
However, first, and I think actually this will provide some good perspective as well, last weekend you attended AREC, the Australian Real Estate Conference.
We did.
Which I'm sure gave you some great perspective on the topic, as they bring in plenty of speakers who are the best at what they do in the real estate industry. So can you give a recap of what AREC is and what it's about and how it was?
I think, I've been blessed to be around some of the best on the planet. We've got some of the amazing people here. And I myself been like, I've got this growth thing. So I've got to learn more and grow. Like I can't stay, just like you.
Yeah.
I can't stop learning. I've got to learn. And what I've found the important thing is that emphasizes that how important learning is. All the people that I know that have gone to places, they've learned. Their libraries, they got big libraries.
Right.
They a bunch of things that they do, but one of the things is very important is the growth mindset. They're learners. They're like avid learners. AREC is a real estate conference that I've attended for 12 years. 12 or so years. That's how I met some of the best people on the planet. That's how I met John McGrath, who's a mentor of mine, who has been a mentor of mine, who's inspired me to do what I do. Yeah. And one of the things that I look at when I'm looking for a mentor is this guy. Can I relate to this guy, right?
Yeah.
And if you're looking for a mentor, that if you found somebody who's done something that maybe his parents was developers, right?
Yeah.
Or maybe his parents were rich or wealthy, right? Nothing wrong with it. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
But Nathan Najib, or a lot of real estate agents cannot relate to that guy or that girl, right? Because he's already had a step up, right? With the people that I look up to, the people that are my mentors, right?
Yeah.
If it is John, if it is Phil, if it is Michael, if it's whomever it may be, they've started like I have. So
that's true.
I like to connect with them because they know where I'm coming from, right?
Yeah.
I don't want to compete. I don't want somebody who mentors me who never started where I started. It's wrong, I feel like, right?
It's a lot harder to learn from the guy who was born rich, stayed rich, died rich, than it is to learn from the guy who was born poor and got rich.
100%.
A lot harder to.
100%. And what is like this? What's interesting, that like a lot of mentors, these YouTube people, you don't know their track records.
Yeah.
So one of the important things about this conference is people that every single person that goes speaks in the thing, and a lot of people that you connect to, rub shoulders with in this conference, are they like people who like nobody 10 years ago, 5 years ago, 15 years ago, 20 years ago, 35 years ago, like John McGrath.
Yeah.
Himself. Now he holds the biggest conference on the planet, huh?
Yeah, that's true.
So kind of people that inspires me, humble, good, decent human beings. That's how I like to roll.
And I suppose AREC is the kind of place that you go to find those people. 100%. So obviously you touched on how big self-improvement is to you, and it certainly is to me as well. It's something that you work hard at every day. It's something I work hard at every day. But what makes the best of the best to you?
That's a real good question, because people think like somebody doing massive sales, big numbers, they think they will. It's just happened, like or you can just do it with your current ritual or routine. Well, the truth is, it just didn't. Number one, it just didn't happen. It took time, and number two, they've got certain ways to do things. They've got rituals. They've got routines. I've written a list of what takes to be the best of the best. I'm going to talk through each one of them, and I'm going to explain what I mean by them.
Absolutely.
If that's cool. And also, we've done in the past, we've done a video. I did a video a little while back about the ritual, the morning routine of, it was Phil Harris, Alex Jordan, it was Tommy Hector, it was Michael Clark, it was some of the best on the planet, their morning ritual.
Right.
Maybe we can put a link there below for people to see, Santi, so they can see what their morning ritual is. One of the things is the morning ritual. But let me go through the list that I've put together, okay?
Yeah.
So, first of all, because people say, you know how people make excuses like, I can't do it because this and this and this, right? I can't do it because I come from, my parents were not born were not rich like you said, or whatever it may be, right? So one of the things is that every single person that walk on that stage in that conference, right? None of them was born in a royal family, obviously.
Yeah.
And none of them were born with silver spoon. So the excuse that you may have that you can't do it, well, there's a cross there.
Yeah.
So that's not a good enough excuse anymore. So great, you were not born in a royal family. Good for you. You can do this.
100%.
You can do this.
100%.
Second thing was great energy. Like all these guys and girls, like all these top performers, they've got this great energy. They got this great vibe.
Yeah.
Not a needy vibe, not a vibe that I need your business, but they've got this good, positive energy. They're extremely disciplined.
Yeah.
They're extremely disciplined, meaning that they don't do something once or twice. It gets done every single time. So discipline is another one. They have some sort of morning routine, majority of them. Like the morning routine that you're going to watch below would be an example of some of the best. Morning routine, for example, for me is like, the morning routine starts, I talk about this analogy of when a soldier goes to war, right?
Yeah.
A soldier puts his armor on, puts his vest on, and hopefully does a bit of exercises. And then when he is in the right mood, he goes to the war.
Yeah.
He doesn't just walk out, get up, and run to the war, right?
All about preparing yourself for that, yeah?
100%. So the preparation is some sort of morning routine. And for me, it's like, and I'll wake up at 3:15 to 3:30. That's my time. I enjoy it. I like it. It's like there's something about the morning. That time is something spiritual about it. And I love. So first thing I do is meditate for about half an hour, 45 minutes. I'll meditate for about half an hour, 45 minutes. Some days an hour. I'll read on a topic that I think I'm interested in at the time, perhaps. And then I'll do a hard exercise, cold shower, and then I've got my armor on. I'm ready to come to work.
Yeah.
Right? So that's the morning routine I talk about. Every single one that's made it to the top, George, they've got some sort of mentors. Like nobody that I know that has made it without having some sort of mentor, a coach, and many of them have got multiple coaches.
Yeah.
Myself, I've got multiple coaches that coaches me on how to do things. If it's a PT, if it's a coach on business coach, if it is mentors that I look up to, if it is some books that I read. So that's one of the very important things. The next one is they look after their health. And health, I don't mean just physically. I'm talking about physically, mentally, emotionally, and best are the best have got their spiritual health right too.
Yeah.
And then we've got the next one. They have some sort of night routine. I think Tommy Hector, one of the guys that work with Phil Harris's business partner, he has got some sort of green tea that he finished off the night with. For me, is I sit down probably about an hour, maybe an hour, 15 minutes before I go to bed.
Yeah.
I journal for about 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour. I have my green tea, and then I'll meditate. I read for about half an hour to kind of put me to go change my mindset from alpha to beta, from beta to delta and theta, right? That's change my mind frequency, if you will. And then I'll meditate for half an hour, and by the time half an hour, 9:15, 9:30 comes, I put my head in on my pillow.
And you're gone.
And I'm gone, man. And I'm gone. So that's a nighttime routine. And then the best agents on the planet, they religiously prospect. Religiously prospect, I mean every day, at least 2 hours.
Yeah.
At least 2 hours. It's like it goes like 45-minute session, 15-minute break, and back on again for 45 minutes. In our Shah, at the moment, she makes 100 phone calls a day, right?
Per day, yeah.
Right? And then you wonder, it's like, how the hell you get all these listings? Well, you've been working on this thing for the last 6 months, right?
Yeah.
And if you want to have consistent, successful business, you got to religiously prospect.
Right.
Every single one, they're not generalist. They don't generalize. They're not like majority of agents here that just sell houses everywhere, anywhere.
Yeah.
They're specialists in one area.
Yeah.
One area, people know that this guy is my guy. This guy is my girl to go to, right?
Yeah.
Persistence, meaning they get rejected, they go back. Persistence, meaning that they call somebody, they're like, oh, I'm not ready to sell. 6 months' time, a year time, give them a call back and say, where you're at now, how can we help you? Or they've done an appraisal on the property. They keep on going back to their appraisal, keeping in touch with people until whenever they're ready.
Yeah.
They don't push. They're not pushy. They're not needy, but they're persistent.
Yeah.
Growth mindset. They're learning. They're in conferences, this conference, that conference. People used to say, like, you in every conference I go to, you're there.
Yeah. Yeah.
and the last one, they're confident. They're not. There's a fine line between confidence and arrogance.
Yeah, I've got a question about that later on.
Okay.
Yeah.
So they're not arrogant, but they're confident. They know they're good.
Yeah.
But that doesn't go to their head.
Yeah.
So And what I tell people, like, what makes you confident? I was doing a training session with a young guy came today that started working with us, right? I was telling him what makes you confidence is your competence. Yeah. If you're competent, you know what you're talking about, you know your product knowledge, you become confident. You just exude confidence, right?
Yeah, true.
And the other thing was, like, people want to know how much you care before they want to know how good you are. So once you know you're a decent human being and people know you're great, you're the best of the best. This business, that's what it is, man. I'm telling you, it's not hard. People make it so difficult.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that work ethic and that persistence that you talk about. You hear a lot nowadays. There's plenty of videos out there. All you have to do is scroll on Instagram. There's a lot about hard work. There's a lot about working 24/7, making everything you do surrounded by your work. And there's this quote floating around that I've heard said to me by everyone under the sun by now. If you want to buy something without looking at the price tag, you have to work without looking at the clock. And is that something that you believe in, or is it important to strike some kind of balance? Or can you make that balance integrated into your work?
Yeah. I think that's like, George, when I started real estate, like, all I knew was how to work hard. Like, I didn't know anything, so I work hard. So for the start, I suggest you work hard. You put in all the hours, like you said, like, if you want to not look at the price tag, you got to stop looking at the clock, 100%. You got to work way longer than the majority, right?
Yeah.
One of the things that I also believe in, like, when you're working so hard, you got to take care of everything else as well. Like, we talk about health.
Yeah.
Mental, physical, spiritual, emotional, because that running, doing 100 miles an hour, it's not sustainable for a long period of time.
Yeah.
And if you want to be successful for a long period of time, you got to work hard, work for long hours, and also make sure you prioritize looking after yourself mentally, spiritually, emotionally, and physically.
Yeah.
And I feel like if you do that, right, if you look after your health, sleep well, and eat good food, don't eat takeaways every time you, like, because you're running flat out, you can pull up in Macca's and have McDonald's. Have healthy, all those three things. I feel they can work a long hours, still be very healthy and still not be stressed about things, I feel like. But I mean, honestly, like, hard work, of course, man. Like, when you start getting into business, hard work, you ought to.
Well, I guess that makes sense. Not having this balance be a separate thing outside of your work. It's not two different things. You can balance it all into one life. So, no, it's a good way of thinking about it. And then speaking of that, let's talk about time management. Something that's very important. How important is time management when it comes to real estate, but also into personal life? I know that if you're not managing your time properly, things fall through the cracks. Things get missed. So how important is it in your experience?
No question about it. Like, I see people running around doing things. I'm like, hey, just relax, take it easy. Because if you're stressed, you're running around from here to there, making phone calls for 5 minutes, answering something else for 5 minutes, and doing this for 10 minutes, doing this for half an hour, you're not going to get nothing done. Yeah. So have some sort of ritual. Like, as you know me, like, right? Yeah. If I put something down, like podcast was down, it's down for a Tuesday evening.
That's it.
It gets done, man. Yeah. It gets done. Exactly right. Because I've got a time allotted for it. Yeah. It has to happen unless, God forbid, something real bad happens. Of course, we go and have exceptions. Yeah. But we get 24 hours a day. All of us do. We sleep. If you're like me, you sleep 4 or 5 hours. Yeah. Otherwise, in average, people sleep 8 hours, I suggest. Yeah. And you've got now another 14 hours to go, right? Yeah. 16 hours to go. Yeah. What do you do in that 16 hours?
True.
Like,
that's true.
How can you squeeze that you can get as much done as possible? So with time management, one of the things that we've got thing with real estate is because majority of real estate agents that come into real estate, they might have a 9 to 5 job, right? The truth is, this is not a 9 to 5 job, and plus you're not getting paid for nothing. So
No, you're not.
so
Exactly.
going home,
If you want to work 9 to 5, forget about it, right?
100%.
You've said it before.
For sure. But also the thing is, though, also, George, if you come in here, you think you can just muck around for 3 hours in the office.
Yeah.
Well, the truth is you're not getting paid because you're only commission-based. You've forgotten about that now, right?
Yeah.
No,
Exactly.
you've got to come in here. Everything that you do, it's on you.
Yeah.
So flexibility thing, stop with this flexibility.
Yeah.
You've got to be at the office. Majority of offices that I worked with, I used to work with, people just turn up whenever they turn up.
Yeah.
No. You've got a morning ritual, morning routine. That's what we're talking about, the best of the best, right?
Yeah.
They squeeze as much as they possibly can into the day, right?
Yeah.
So you got the morning routine. You've got, when you come into the office, you've got your prospecting hours. You've got your vendor call hours, first of all. So just go back. So you do your morning routine, come to your office, check your email for about half an hour, 45 minutes. Vendor calls, active vendor calls, because when I said, like, when vendors calling you for update, you're not doing your job right.
Yeah, you got to be calling them first.
You have to be calling them every single day with an update.
Yeah.
And then you get onto your prospecting. And then in the afternoon, we don't want you here. You got to be out there door knocking, making prospecting connection with people, and appointments and appraisal for the afternoon.
Exactly. Well, this is where I found in my life,
Yeah.
getting to the point that I am now, just getting into being able to manage time
Yeah.
effectively. I found Google Calendar so useful.
Yeah.
Because it's almost a visual representation. I know it'll be a phase, and I know it'll get to a point where you just know what it is that you're doing. But it's almost like now, someone wants to go for lunch with me. Okay, cool. What's your email address?
Absolutely.
I invite you to lunch on Google. It makes things very easy. So that's a tip that I would have for somebody who's just.
So Google Calendar, you suggest? I think it's a brilliant idea.
so.
We all have it.
We all use it.
Yeah.
We all use it. It's great.
Yeah.
But, when it comes to real estate, what are some of the biggest challenges when it comes to time management? Obviously, it's a pretty volatile, pretty unpredictable industry. There are days where you don't know what's going to happen.
No.
So what are the hardest aspects of real estate to time manage effectively, and how do you do it?
The hardest thing is the flexibility. Like I said, so much flexibility. You can turn up whenever you like. You haven't got a boss because they are your independent contractor.
Mm-hmm.
But you've got to be disciplined. So with discipline, you're in the office. You might have your kids to drop off. You might have to do whatever. But every single day, you're in the office at the same time.
Yeah.
You prospect for 2 hours a day.
Yeah.
Right? You do your afternoon meetings outside the office.
Yeah.
So those are a bunch of things.
Yeah.
If there was nothing you took today, from today, one thing would be like this prospecting thing.
Yeah.
That's something you can't mess with.
So you're just saying, just have the routine. That is just what you do at that time, and you don't throw things around on a day-to-day basis. One day I do it this time, one day I do it that time.
Absolutely not. So one of the things that I suggest, when you're doing an open home schedule for Saturday,
Yeah.
it's a Saturday at 2 to 2:30, you turn up and do it, right? Exactly the same thing. Put in your diary that you're prospecting 2 hours,
Yeah.
like I said, 45 minutes on, 15-minute break to freshen up again, and then come back for another 45 minutes. I guarantee you do that consistently for 6 months, then you give me a call and say how good you're doing.
Yeah. Well, I have found that if you say you're going to do something at a time and you don't do it, never happens.
Never happens.
Never happens.
Never happens.
If you set a time to wake up at that time. You set a time to do your prospect at that time.
Absolutely.
Set a time to go to bed at that time.
Absolutely.
So
one thing I want to put another layer on top of that is if you want to be real, you want to do it every single time, have an accountability buddy. Because now there's no way you don't do it. Okay, put in your calendar, you might not do it.
Yeah.
But when you tell Nathan, I'm going to do prospecting at this time and just do this time.
Nathan's going to follow you up.
Nathan will follow you up. At the end of the day, I would like you to send me back. How many phone calls did you make? How many connections did you make?
Yeah.
Just like our team here, when they said, I'm going to make 100 phone calls, cool. Let me know by the end of the day how you get on.
Yeah.
And majority, send me numbers. Good. Well done.
Yeah.
So that would be my suggestion. Put another layer on it. Have an accountability buddy.
Yeah.
So you can both keep each other accountable.
Yeah. And I want to switch it up a little bit, actually. The best of the best we speak about. Rejections. Rejections are something that everybody faces.
Yeah.
Might be in your personal life,
Yeah.
might be in your professional life. But real estate in particular, or sales in general, is one of those industries where you're faced with rejections every day almost. If you're doing the prospecting that you say you should be doing,
Yeah.
you're faced with rejections all the time.
Yeah.
So what are the most common types of rejection that you'll face in the real estate industry?
Yeah.
And how do the best of the best handle rejection?
Yeah. So the common one would be like, you've called me last week. Why the hell are you calling me again? I'm not looking to sell. See you later. I don't want to talk to a real estate agent. I don't like real estate agents. All those frequently rejections.
Yeah.
Why the hell you knock on my door? Like, I told you last time I'm not looking to sell, right?
Yeah.
What happens is if you're consistent for long enough, people get to know you, that you're a good human being. Those rejections, they're lesser and lesser, right?
Yeah.
So one of the things that I say is I talk about like, create an attraction agent, become an attraction agent, meaning that you want people to eventually call you, but that's not going to happen first year, second year, might not happen in third year.
Yeah.
But fourth year, if you've been consistent, it will happen. The second thing is, I say is like, the best way to build character is door knock, make cold phone calls, right?
Yeah. Because you're going to hear it time and time again.
You're going to hear it time and time again,
Don't want to talk to you.
No.
Not interested.
No, and what I say is like, do not take it personally. Oh, it's easy for you to do it, say it, Nathan. I said, do not take it personally because everybody's got things going on in their life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just see it from their perspective. I'm so sorry to bother you now. Now is not a good time. Wouldn't it be a good time for us to speak?
Yeah.
Or you don't want to talk to me. That's thank you very much. I apologize. I'm sorry for intruding in your lunchtime or dinner time, whatever it may be, right? Just be a good human being, apologize, and then maybe call them back again. And I'm telling you the amount of time that people have rejected me, they don't want to talk to me, and then like call me to come and sell their house.
Yeah.
It's just phenomenal. Today, somebody gave me a call. These people bought a house from me. They never talked to me since.
Yeah.
In Cass Bay, and they referred their sister to us.
Yeah.
So she was telling me, like, this person asked me to give you a call. I'm just thinking who it is, right? Oh, they never wanted to talk to me. They've asked me to delete them from my database and all that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah.
So don't take it personally because people has got things in their life. I feel like being a little bit stoic about life, being philosophical about life is a good thing as well, especially if you're in sales because...
You have to.
You have to.
You have to.
You do.
And then I know how we do this here at Najib. I know not everybody does it, unfortunately. But, you've mentioned being positive in the face of rejection, not taking it personally. In a real estate sense, rejection often means a potential client goes with a different agent from a different agency.
Yeah.
That's not you.
Yeah.
How do you handle that?
Yeah, and I say is like you become the ultimate pro when you lose a listing and call the agent saying, "Hey, congratulations.
Yeah.
I lost the listing to you. Good for you. Good for you.
All the best.
And then I'm gonna kick your ass next time. Doesn't
Next
matter.
time.
Nothing wrong with that, right?
Yeah.
Being competitive, but don't be a bad sport.
No.
Good for them, they won the listing. And there's plenty of listings out there. Having an abundance mentality rather than a scarcity mentality.
Yeah.
And I heard in the thing in the conference actually was funny. He says afterward, that's what Ryan Serhan says. He's a New York $1 million agent. He says, I seen flowers, like funeral flowers to them. I'm sorry for your loss. I said, that's a bloody good idea. Maybe I should do that.
Yeah.
So don't take it personally because, and also I say this as well was like, at the moment, the market is different. Not every home sold. You might lose the listing now.
Yeah.
In 3 months' time, they might come back to you because you're a decent human being. Send them a bunch of flowers or send them all the best card.
Wish them all the best.
I wish them all the best because with abundance mentality, we can go very, very far.
There's plenty more.
Absolutely.
There's plenty more. And then the other thing is building trust, which is something that you spoke about just before. When people think about building trust in sales, they think about communication, consistency, reliability, expertise, testimonials.
Yeah.
And the other thing you mentioned before, and I have a question about it, is how do you demonstrate your expertise and your skills without coming across as boastful, narcissistic, pushy? Is it a matter of letting the results speak for themselves, or is there a way that you have to present yourself?
I feel like, when you have got the results to back you up, then the results really speak because they've seen you, they've come through your open home.
Yeah.
But let's assume you're a
You don't
brand
have
new
the
agent,
results.
right?
Yeah.
Let's say you're a brand new agent. My suggestion would be know the product that you're selling. Not just you selling this house. Let's say you've been asked to do an appraisal on this house. Don't just turn up looking at a couple of sales that happen in the area. No. Go back last 6 months, last year. What's been selling in the area? Excuse me. And also look at what's on the market currently. So every single house that's sold in the area.
Yeah.
And better than anybody else because they would have probably invited 2 other agents. And if you're the agent that's enthusiastic, because when I was young, that reminds me back when I was 18-year-old agent, I didn't know much, but I was so enthusiastic about things, and I was like, just give me an opportunity. Who's gonna work harder than I do? Which is true. Agents been around for a long period of time. They're kind of a little bit complacent.
Yeah.
They are potentially they think they don't need to, when they turn up to a presentation, they don't think they need to put in much work.
No.
But if you're hungry and you turn up and your product, and you actually, one of the things you can talk to them I haven't been in the business for too long, but what I can guarantee is nobody's going to work as hard as I do.
Yeah.
And it's nice to be upfront with people. And that's how you build trust, tell people the truth, right? Mm-hmm. And also when you're doing an appraisal on the property, obviously, learn how to tell people the truth, but also not take their dream away.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I say is because real estate, it's like there's no second place. If you go and lose a listing, you either get the listing or you do not get the listing, right?
Yeah.
So it's too expensive of an exercise to do it in front of the vendor, in front of the potential client. What I'm suggesting, do training, record yourself. That's what I used to do. Record yourself, and then we used to have little. Do you know what dictaphone is?
I do, yeah.
You
I
do,
do,
okay.
yeah.
So we used to have the dictaphone. We used to talk to it, and then we'd listen to ourselves, and then re-record it again.
Right.
You
You
don't
get
have to
better
do-
at the calls.
Yeah, to make if it's a phone call. In this case, it will be presentation.
Yeah.
So do your presentation. Make sure your presentation is structured.
Yeah.
And practice, man. Practice makes it better.
Yeah, and I have one last question, actually. The last question is also about building trust over time. Speaking of over time, how important is it to build that trust so that you can turn client relationships, or the house you're selling now, into a long-term client relationship? Mm-hmm. You sell it next time.
Absolutely.
And you help them buy the next one, and you sell that one.
Yeah.
So on and so forth.
That is the ultimate game. Like most agents and agencies, as soon as you buy the house from them, you're dead. You're gone. Mm-hmm. They don't get in touch with you again.
No.
So that one of the things that my success has been is I've sold houses for people 15, 16, 17 years ago. My first ever house.
Yep.
I'm still in touch with the person. And I've probably sold many houses for the family and the friends and everybody till now. So keeping in touch with people, calling them for happy first year, second year, third year anniversary. And then by now you hopefully build relationship with them so they know their birthday, you know their parents' family's birthday, they know their wife's birthday, you got the wedding dates and all that kind of stuff. So building trust with people is now you become the family real estate agent.
Yeah.
And that takes consistency, builds trust.
Over time.
Yeah. So you know what they say, I think it's 12 times when people hear from you, they kind of think about you. And then I think it's 18 to 24 times you become the household name. Mm-hmm. So they need to hear from you consistently for a long period of time. And then one important thing would be make sure the connection is genuine. It's not about, hey, I want to sell you next house. I just moved into this goddamn place. Give me some time.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
That's true.
So building genuine, good relationship with people, it's not rocket science, I'm telling you, man. It's so easy. I know, we talk about a system our skill set, a triad that we speak about, right? The system, the skill set, and also the mindset, right?
Yeah.
So yes, 100% systems are very important, no question about it. But then you got skill set that you can work on, and then the mindset you can work on as well, right?
Yeah.
So all those things, the system should be able to help you keep a consistent in contact with people for a long period of time. It could be 1 year, 2 years, 10 years down the track.
And all that is what makes you the best of the best, right? It's an honor to share this table, share this microphone with you, Nathan. I know we'll do it again.
Absolutely.
And thank you very much. You continue every week to provide valuable advice, insights. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. Rate us on Spotify. Leave any questions that you have in the comments or email them to hello@najibari.co.nz. We'll be sure to get back to you.
Let us know what they think. If they want us to talk about some certain topic, we're more than happy to have a chat to them about it.
Take your ideas on board, of course. Well, thank you very much, Nathan.
Pleasure.